it looks like Noda is going to be your winner of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Is your champion. JJ splits the middle, gets past both drivers. Alright, and ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you back here to Split 1 here in FRL Week 3. Again, we are in Portimao, Portugal. Whatever you know the track as, it is where we're at. This is shaped up to have been a fun weekend so far. Of course, Aston Martin Split 2, a great result there for Radoslav Kepa, and an amazing run there from Baran, finishing P5, but definitely had the pace for a top finish. Amazing to watch. Pink in the Mercedes just defending like nobody's business. And now we're here for Split 1. You know them. You know what's coming. It's about to be 33 laps of amazing action after 18 minutes of intense qualifying. Last time we were here, the man we're watching right now, JJ, finished P2. Can JJ come around this weekend and finish P1? John Meister in the Alfa Romeo was on podium last week, or last time we ran here. Jalajne, one of the amazing names here in FRL that we talk about, who was Season 4 champion, showed up, showed out. He was our last winner here in Portimao. So, who is going to take the title this weekend of being the next winner of Portugal? Not the title of the league. Of course, we're only 3 races in. This is a long season. Anything can happen. But where are we going to see the league end up at? Where are things going to go? Lap record, of course, held by Pafixian. Fastest quality lap ever is by Tazo. Most points scored on the track is JJ. Everything is shaping up to show JJ finishing very strongly this weekend. And I'm worried that I might be jinxing him. JJ, purple first sector to kick us off already. And we're just going to sit back. We're going to enjoy the track. I hope everyone's having a great weekend. Hope everyone's having a great week. What a great way to kick off the new week here. And then with some FRL. And we're going through here. Again, we saw a lot of mistakes in Split 2 in this section of the track specifically. Turn 1 was killer, and then this section of the track was very brutal for the drivers in Split 2. It was a lot of drivers lost traction, and one driver even said it felt like they were driving on ice. And that is what I mean. Let's commentator curse things. Let's start things off right with a commentator's curse. That is what I'm thinking of there, of JJ. 1:17.8 coming across the line for Buchik here. So very good times going in early. Very fast competitive lap times being set in. And none of these drivers are going to hesitate. 1:18.9 for Barth as a little bit off the pace there. We're going to jump on board here with Noda, as Noda's coming around the final sector. He's got a couple cars in front of him. Debe 1:18.6. Grax at 1:17.9. Buchik is a 1:17.888 right now to start us off. Noda's going to come across the line, put in a 1:18.0. Very strong lap time. Now you've got Maddie with a 1:17.75. Very good time coming across there. Puhash, we're going to watch as Puhash comes around in the Mercedes. We'll see where Puhash can put himself. 1:18.1. Good enough for P6 there. Bernard coming across the final corner line. So drivers not hesitating to put in times early here. And Bernard comes across 1:19.0, so a little bit of a scruffy lap there. And I don't know, is JJ on a... JJ went into the pits there. I didn't think JJ was on the second push lap. We've got Wasserschwein, who is out and about here, who invalidated his lap. Bimolino Gaucho, who is coming through the third sector. A couple cars in front of him there, but I believe that is both of the Red Bulls and one of the McLarens that's actually going in the pits. So Bimolino is our next driver on a push lap there in the Alpine. So, and as Bimolino comes across the line, you can see down a little bit on time, 1:19.2, currently a couple seconds off the pace there. So, a little bit of time left to find here. We're going to jump with Wasserschwein. Wasserschwein going through the middle sector, not able to put in a very competitive lap time. Maverick into the pits there. And you can see Syntex. Syntex, there we go. Hello, Syntex. Welcome to second place early on in the AlphaTauri, putting on a competitive, fierce time of a 1:17.85. So this track, everyone has already admitted to me in one way or another that this track is very hard, and nobody's really looking forward to this track because it is a challenge. It's a very unique track in that it goes so uphill, so downhill. There's blind corners, there's downhill braking zones. As you can see with Wasserschwein, if you just hold on to it a little too much gas, a little too hard in the steering, you're asking too much of the car. You ask just too much of the car, and you're going to spin your car out there. Which is what we've seen multiple drivers do through Split 2, and it's what I imagine we're going to see some drivers do here through Split 1 as we watch. Cashty now starting off a push lap for us here. And we'll see what time Cashty puts in. John Meister jumping in with a 1:17.754 there. So John Meister, P2 in the standings at the moment, knocking Syntex back a little bit. So we're going to see some really competitive lap times. Top 6 all separated by less than a quarter of a second. Gamer 2021 starting out here. Gamer 2021 retiring out of the session, it looks like. We're watching Cashty putting in times. Cashty is a driver that we also know is very, very fast. So I'm curious to see where Cashty puts themselves going through. Cashty currently P3 in the standings, finished P2 in Hungary, but DNF'd in France. So currently our standings in Split 1 is Noda, Maddie, Cashty, Jack, and Buchik. Of course, Jack not starting this week, so he'll be tossed back a little bit in the standings there, but Jack finished P2 last week in France. It's looking really good. Maddie finished P1 in France, which is what gave Maddie the points advantage there. And then Noda with 2 points finishes, P1 and then P8 in France, sees himself at top of the standings. Continue to watch Cashty, 1:17.2, half a second up. What a time! What was that time, Cashty? Where did that come from? Debe actually purple first sector, though, so Debe is going to be a driver that we're going to have to watch as well. We've got yellow flags out all over the place. All the drivers are bunched up. Nobody's really spread out, so I think we're going to have to watch and hope nobody gets in trouble for impeding someone. Debe putting in purple first sector. We'll see where Debe comes across. Comes through as we watch. Middle sector actually down a little bit through the middle sector, so Debe looking on putting on a representative time, probably a similar time as well. One of the things I like to look at is just the stats of FRL, of course, the league in its 7th season here. And, like, if you look at Noda, if you look at Debe, those are drivers that have over 80 races in FRL, which is amazing. Noda, 80 races in FRL, 8 wins, 31 podiums, 10 poles, 8 fastest laps, 818 points in total in the league, which is crazy to me. Syntax is down a bit on lap time here, unless my timer is messed up, which is completely possible. And we're going to watch Syntax comes across a 1:17.857, so does find a little bit of time there, but is still only good enough for P4. So we've got Cashty, Maddie, and Jawmeister that are ahead of Syntax there in pace. And now throw Ignis in the mix there. Ignis comes across the line, 1:17.852. So your top 8 drivers all separated by less than a second, all in the 1:17s. And I mean, Cashty just put together a stellar lap. I don't think anyone can deny that from Cashty. Maverick's coming around the final corner now. We'll see where the Aston Martin drivers end up this week. And right into the pits Maverick goes, doesn't put in a time. We'll jump back with Bernard here. Bernard rounding out the 3rd sector. Little bit loose there, it looked like, going into the final corner. Coming around, Bernard flat to the line here. It is going to be a little bit slower of a lap there for Bernard. Good enough for P14, a 1:18.4. So you can see there is a bit of a pace difference here in Split 1 like there was in Split 2, but I don't think it's as significant of a difference. Cashty's on an outlap, 7 minutes to go left here in qualifying. We'll jump on board with Cashty as Cashty's lap gets going. For now, we're going to watch Jawmeister. Jawmeister, purple first sector. Very, very good time there. Cashty is rounding through sector 3, about to start their push lap. So we'll watch Jawmeister and see what sort of time Jawmeister puts in here. That purple first sector looks very promising. And this, I mean, you just have to kind of throw the car, watch the weight transfer, and just get everything to stick. It's very... You have to be really brave through Sector 2 of the track. I love watching it. I love watching these drivers go through Sector 2. Just because it really tests your ability to get the car to comply and just do what you need it to do. Coming across here, final corner, Jawmeister comes around looking like a very competitive time. Comes around a 1:17.6. Jawmeister puts himself in P3 there. Graxton's in P2 now as well. So we're seeing a little bit of mix up here at the top of the leaderboard as we watch Cashty come around here middle sector. Again, just watching their little bit of a snap there of oversteer, holding on to it. Cashty still seems like they're on for a good lap from what I can tell. You can see a little bit closer to the sausage curve there in the curve. And if you watch the throttle trace, you can see how through some of those curves, the drivers are just slowly pressing the throttle. It's not a stomp and release. And Cashty pays off with a 1:17 flat. I didn't think Cashty could find more time, and Cashty finds even more time. Wow. Wow. All right, well, that's insane. All right, Maddie's coming around here. Maddie coming through the final corners. We've got both McLaren starting a push lap here, and it looks like Ignis is going to be starting their push lap. Maddie comes over the hill. Maddie is going to put in a 1:17.5, good enough for P4 there, so continuing to push through. I mean, put 1:17 flat. What is... How? See Extract letting the Red Bulls through there. Maverick is out on a push lap coming through the third sector. And Maverick is into the pits here. We are going to jump on board with Ignis there, who is coming through the first sector. Oh, Ignis, you can't go that wide. Ignis going very wide there. That was a interesting racing line, I'll say. Jumping on board with Syntax here. Syntax now starting what's going to be his final push lap here, and we're going to jump on board and just ride the whole lap through. I'll keep my eyes on the board and see if anyone else puts in a competitive time. Of course, Cashty and them are on outlaps, and okay, commentator's cursed. I'm not going to ride on board with Syntax anymore. We are going to jump with Ignis. Hello, Ignis. Ignis comes across the line there at a 127, so something went very wrong there through the lap. I don't know if Ignis is going to do a second push lap. A minute 50 left in qualifying here, so drivers out on their final laps, or starting their final laps, aren't going to have enough time to get around, get into the pits, and do another lap. So whatever they're on, this has to be it for them. Graxon coming around. And Graxon with a 117.541, so a slight improvement there. Actually, no, sorry, this is Graxon's push lap. I don't know why it tells me their time when they come across here. And Graxon coming around through. This is going to be for the marbles, as I don't know who says that, but I'm saying it. So this is all the marbles to play for. And Graxon's going to come around down into the downhill braking zone. Very, very aggressive on the brakes here. And looking very, very clean so far. I mean, looking very good. Graxon continuing to come around here through the middle sector. Yellow flag sector 3. I don't think that's going to affect anyone, though. Thankfully, Graxon continue to push through. The only drivers out on outlaps right now are Maddie and Debe. Maddie just now crossing the line. Debe not that far behind him. So Debe is going to be our last driver to do his push lap. And Graxon backing out of the lap there, letting the Mercedes by him of... I don't know who that was. Was that Pujosh? That was not Pujosh. He let Bernard by him. So we'll jump on board here with Bernard. We'll see what sort of a time Bernard can put in. Bernard comes across at a 118.1. Good enough for P12. Graxon not improving there, so Graxon's qualifying session is going to be over. We'll jump up with Syntax. Syntax aborting his final lap here, so Syntax's qualifying is over. A 117.6, good enough for P6 there in the AlphaTauri. Cashty's into the pits there. JJ knocking Syntax down a peg there. John Meister spinning in the third sector, so John Meister not going to be able to improve. John Meister will be at best P6, but we still have multiple drivers out on track here. Noda, who is going down. And through the third sector now, John Meister still trying to get back on track. We've got Aston Martin's going across. I believe that is going to be Maverick. Maverick improving to P14 there, with Barthez down into P15, knocked down one position. Noda's going to come across the line. Where is Noda going to put his car? Noda comes across with a 117.7. Still only good enough for P10. Only a few drivers left to finish laps. Maddie's into the pits. Graxon is still out on a push lap. Bernard is still out on a push lap. Debe is coming around the final corner now. I said Debe was the last driver to cross the line there to start a flying lap. Debe's going to come across. Where is he going to put In a 1:17.8, you can see a Ferrari backwards on the front stretch. I believe that is Graxent. So Debe improving to P12 there. And that should be our qualifying over. Kashti, Tazo, Puhash, Graxit, Maddie, Jawmeister, JJ, Syntex, Buchek, Noda, Ignis, Debe, Bernard, Maverick, Barthez, Bimolino Gaucho, Extract, Gamer, and Wasserschwein. Those are going to be the 19 cars. They're going to start our 33 laps here in Split 1. Kashti with an obnoxious 117 flat, though. Tazo, only 3/10 off, but 3/10 off, that's a significant time difference. So, that is going to be where we set for the end of qualifying. Kashti, obnoxious times. Tazo, Puhash, Graxit, Maddie, Jawmeister, JJ, Syntex, Buchek, and Noda rounding out our top 10. Bear with us just a minute, and we'll be right back for the race. All right. I hope everyone is ready for a great Split 1 race here at Portimao, Portugal. Fun, hilly track that's proven to be a serious challenge for a lot of the drivers here. Of course, 3 sectors through, 2.891 miles, 4.6 kilometers, if that's what you believe in. 15 turns. It is going to be 9 to the left, or 9 to the right, 6 to the left. And this has been a track where we've seen a lot of exciting things happen here in the league. We've seen a lot of fun changes. We've seen a lot of fun action. I know earlier this week, everyone was talking about the big event in Season 4, which was the last time we were here, Insidious and Noda. Insidious, of course, missing the braking zone into the downhill left-hander and just absolutely plowing everyone through turn 5. It was crazy to watch. It was a great time. It was scary, and it was overall exciting. I'm curious to see where things happen this week and what happens with these drivers as we form through. Of course, no formation lap here in Split 1. It is going to be 5 red lights, and we are underway with no hesitation here. And you can see just a great takeoff there from Cassie. Tazo through back in the midfield. We've got 3 wide going into turn 1 there, and it looks like that is going to be Syntex again with a turn 1 incident, dropping back. I think that's happened every week. Syntex has been knocked down with a turn 1 incident on the inside. That is crazy to watch here. Now, we're going to continue to watch here. Look at the dive coming in from Buchek into the inside there, trying to get a pass on Graxent. He's going to be there on the inside. Graxent, I don't think is going to let him by and is going to try to fight it through, though. We'll look at tire compounds and everything in just a second to tell who is running what strategy. Of course, one-stop strategy, the best strategy to run here. And we saw in Split 2 the Aston Martin of Radislav Kepa, who ran very, very long into the race. Over 20 laps. I think it was like 25 in total he ran before he ended up pitting and going onto the soft tires to finish the race. And back here, we've got teammates passing each other here in P10, P11, Wasserschwein and Maverick. Maverick now dropping back. He might lose another position here to Bernard. You see the hard tires for Maverick, Bernard on the mediums. Bernard is going to look up the inside here going into turn 15. And I believe Bernard is going to hold on to that there. And he does hold on to it. You can see behind him Barthez and Extract, of course, switching as well. Now we're going to watch the run into turn 1 here. And Noda having to go into the pits already, probably picking up wing damage there on turn 1. And now, jump back up front for just a second here. Jawmeister, Buchek battling it out. Competitive battle here. You can see Buchek running a little bit wide there, trying to get past Jawmeister. Jawmeister trying to defend. Buchek thinking about a lunge up the inside there, decide not to, and you can see as the drivers come around this gorgeous turn 5 there. The big battle happening back in the back, though. And that is, I believe, Maverick, who is off there. Barthez getting away. I could see the position scrambling. I saw the cars kind of running around, and then we jumped back to Maverick being off track there. All right, now that the dust is settled from the first 2 laps, and Bartha is picking up a 5-second penalty for corner cutting and gaining 1 place. That was very random. You don't see that happen often. All right, and pit stop strategy, medium to hard is the recommended. You can do a 2-stop of soft, medium, medium if you're really feeling it, which we've seen Cashy with a 120.0 already building up a 3.4 second gap there in P1. Now we just continue to watch here. Pujols trying to chase down Tazo. Now let's look at tires where everybody is at. Cashy on the soft tires to start. So Cashy's going to look probably a 2-stop strategy, I would guess. Tazo's on hards, Pujols on mediums. Matty and John Meister on hards. Lots of medium tires through there. Wasserschwein on soft tires, and Wasserschwein with a dive there. And you can see now, though, Ignis getting back past. It looks like Wasserschwein tried to have a run there into turn 5, went a little bit deep through, and just didn't make it stick. You can see things are a lot closer here in Split 1 than they were in Split 2. Split 2, everything widened out quickly. Here in Split 1, things are staying very close. Lots of good battles on track to try to keep our eyes on as we continue to watch. Pujols half a second back on Tazo here. He's going to try to have a run on him here. They should have DRS going on the main straight now this lap. And as we watch here, Pujols going down the main straight here. And he is going to open DRS up at the line. Is it going to give him enough of a run, though, to try to catch up to Tazo? Tazo's got some serious speed, even on those hard compound tires. You can see into the braking zone, though, of turn 1. Pujols, a little bit of a run there. Gap down to 0.4 of a second. Continuing to watch Buchik, 0.3 of a second back on John Meister here as well. So these drivers trying to compete very, very close. Wasserschwein trying to take advantage of the soft compound tires early on. 0.4 of a second the gap there, and 0.3 of a second the gap between Ignis and Graxen. So drivers trying to jostle for position early. Syntex here with a bit. Oh, and there's a move there from Extract, losing traction on corner exit when he put the throttle on there. And Syntex is going to move up into P12. I thought that was getting ready to be a battle to develop because I saw the time closing. But Syntex able to get a clean P12 here. Now he can set off to chasing back, to moving back up in positions from where he was. As we continue to watch here, coming around lap 5. Look at the run Buchik has here. Buchik side by side here with John Meister. He's on the inside. He's going to push him back out to the outside, take his place there. Is Graxet going to be able to get the pass done as well? Graxet going for a pass here. Graxet, John Meister side by side. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Who holds on to it there? Graxet keeps hold of P5. Graxet runs wide, though, and now that's going to give John Meister the chance to get back through. And Ignis, his teammate, is going to be there as well. Ignis is going to look up the inside, and he's going to lose another position to Wasserschwein. Graxet dropping all the way back to P8 there, off of the run. In the just one small error in turn 1, and Graxet drops from P4 to P8. This battle is far from over, though. This battle is going to last the entirety of this race, I am sure. Look here at Syntex. Syntex only a 10th back on Bernard, trying to chase down the Mercedes driver and get past him there. Bernard going to go to the outside here, and just, it looks like he lets Syntex through. He knows there's a little bit of a pace difference, so he's just going to let him go there. No issue. Syntex up into P10 now. Now as we continue to watch here, lap 6 of 33. Coming around here. And DRS is open for drivers. Does Pujols have a run here? He does not. We'll jump back here Ignis, John Meister, Wasserschwein. This battle is starting to calm down a little bit. Graxent 0.3 of a second back here on Wasserschwein, so we're just going to keep our eyes here and see Barthez. First time penalty of the race, 3 second time penalty for corner cutting through. Continue to watch these battles develop in the front here. And Graxent sticking right to the back there of John Meister, Ignis, and Wasserschwein. Graxent actually might have a run here on Wasserschwein. You can see a little bit faster through, and you can see just a slightly different line trying to optimize that corner exit there. And Wasserschwein a little bit better on the traction through and around, and Graxent dropping back a little bit through the middle sector. It is hard to follow. Of course, these new cars, the dirty air is less of an issue, but you still do have to account for it. Now as we come around, third sector here, turn 14 into turn 15. You can see we're kind of just forming a train now. And Kashi, 5.4 seconds of the gap between Kashi and Tazo, so it's smooth sailing there. You see we're kind of just forming a little bit of a train here. Everyone's just relaxing, settling down. It is a long race, so these split one drivers know that they can kind of relax a little bit and things will just develop as they do. Maddie and Maverick here, a little bit of a battle, and Maddie, with the help of DRS, has passed Maverick with no issues. And that was for P13. Ignis and John Meister, it looks like swapping positions with the run into turn 5, and now you've got Wasserschwein there. You can see on the rear of John Meister trying to have a pass here. It looks like it's trying to tell me he's P6, not P7. That's really weird. Anyways, here we go. We're all good now. Wasserschwein trying to have the run on John Meister here, and Graxent, you can see just right in tow. Syntax getting past Debe there with a run around the outside to the inside. So Syntax now up into P9. Syntax is showing some serious pace. I'm holding my breath for what Syntax is going to do this race, but Syntax is showing some really, really promising pace here so far through the race. 1.8 seconds the gap between Syntax and Graxent. So we'll see here as the race goes on if he's able to gain anything. Wasserschwein coming through here. Final corner, half a second the gap here. He's on the soft tires. Soft tires might be starting to wear out a little bit compared to the medium and hard tire runners. If Wasserschwein with DRS, is he going to be able to get a run here on John Meister? John Meister, little bit of weaving on the straight to the Fitbit, but looking really, really good. And Wasserschwein not able to get the gap down below 0.4, so gaining slightly there through the straight, but not enough to make a significant impact or try to go for a lunge. You see the gap there for John Meister to his teammate Ignis, now 1.3 seconds. 1.4 seconds. So John Meister starting to lose a little bit of pace to Ignis. Ignis is just sticking right to the back of Buchik there. 0.4 of a second to gap. We have a yellow flag sector 2. I believe that is for Maverick spinning there out of turn 5. Maverick's back underway though with no issues. Watching this battle unfold here. I'm trying to just, there's so many battles to keep up with and just so many things that can change here. And that's just how competitive this field is and how close the field is. If we take out, you know, Kashi, of course, because Kashi has just went smooth sailing. Lap 9 of 33, 23 laps to go here. And he's just taking off. Wasserschwein going for the inside there to defend against Graxent. He has to ramp the sausage curve there. I hope he didn't get underbody damage, but Graxent up to P7 now, so Graxent's going to set off trying to chase everyone down. But look, there's Syntax half a second back. So Syntax now in the mix as well for this battle. You see Syntax with a very, very strong run here on Wasserschwein. Ignis and Buchik battling things out here. It looks like Ignis in P4, Buchik down into P5 here. John Meister P6, less than a second back. Graxent P7, less than a second back. Wasserschwein 0.7 back. And looking there, Syntax is just 2.5 off of Wasserschwein. So Syntax, an aggressive run here early on, really, really pushing the car and pushing himself. And it's paying off after that turn 1, lap 1 contact. And we're now 9 laps in. He's already gotten himself back up into P9. He started P8. So he's almost back where he started. Coming through the final corner here, DRS is going to be open. And Wasserschwein diving into the pits, giving way for Syntex here to go ahead and go on the charge. Syntex up into P8 now. Is going on the charge. Wasserschwein pitting here, just 10 laps in. Soft tires, so I'm kind of not surprised that he's pitted so early. Going onto the hards to finish out the race. I would presume to finish out the race anyways. Look at this midfield battle here for P4, 5, 6, 7. P8, you can even say Debe in P9, even though the gap's 2.5 seconds to Syntex. He's still within reaching distance there of the cars in front of him. And it looks like a spin for Bartha is coming out of turn 5. He's back underway though, no issues. We're continuing to watch though. And it looks like Syntex losing a little bit of pace here now to Graxit now that he's lost the slipstream. Gap is down to 1.1 seconds on Graxit, so he needs to gain a little bit more time before they hit the final corner. That way he can be within DRS for the main straight, because of course all the cars in front of him are going to have the DRS. So if he's not close enough to have DRS, which he's not going to be, that could prove unfortunate. Our leader, Kashti, pitting in now. We'll see what Kashti is opting to do. Kashti going for hard tires, so Kashti also looking for the one-stop strategy. Wasserschwein triggering, of course, the pit stop for Kashti. We'll see if any other drivers opt to do pit stops down. Kashti is going to come out he's going to come out in front of Maverick there for P12. And Buchik a little bit of a run there on Ignis. I think he's starting to gain time back a little bit, but it's very hard to tell because the gaps are staying so consistent, and really it's hard to tell if someone's gaining time on pace or if it is someone who's just perhaps maybe a slight error. A third of the way through the race here, and things have settled down just a little bit here. Syntex 1.3 seconds back there on Graxit, so Syntex was gaining a little bit. Now he's lost a little bit of time since he's lost touch with Graxit and lost touch of DRS. Now as the drivers come around here, Buchik 0.6 of a second back there on Ignis. Jahrmeister, though, look at that, 0.3 back. So Jahrmeister continuing to gain time. Buchik continuing to gain time as well on Ignis. So they're all starting to push forward. Syntex picking up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. So continue to watch here. Jumping back with JJ. JJ 0.3 of a second back on Maddie and continue to pick up time. And now actually dropping back to 0.8 back. He was only 0.3 back. And that gap has already opened up just a little bit, which is very interesting to see. Of course, we talked about it earlier. JJ, the most points, most successful driver here on this track. So this should be a track he's very familiar with and can be very comfortable with. We'll just need to see what happens here. Syntex going into the pits now. So we'll see Syntex in the AlphaTauri pitting. He is going from mediums to hard. So a little bit early of a pit stop there. I think he's going to try to opt to get the overcut here on the cars in front of him, but I feel like this is early for a one-stop strategy. So we'll see how this plays out for him. I have no doubt in the driver's ability and his you know, understanding of strategy. We'll see how it plays out, and we'll see if he's able to make up any time on the cars ahead. Continue to watch here as Buchik is trying to chase down Ignis now. Half a second the gap, and it's been consistently half a second the gap for several laps now. And he's really, really working to try to catch up on him and try to get a pass done here. Buchik, gaps floating between 4/10 and 7/10 and 4/10 and 7/10. So I think pit stops are going to be what mixes things up. Of course, we'll have to wait and see, you know, if there's any safety cars or anything. Split 2 went without a safety car entirely, so it is possible Split 1 does the same thing here. Look at the run Matty's going to have on Bernard. Bernard diving into the pits there, staying out of Matty's way. Matty does, of course, get DRS, though, because he was within a second within the detection zone, so Matty able to pick up a little bit of extra pace down the main straight. And now things are starting to open up. Bubblino Gaucho picking up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. And now we've got Buchik, who is only 0.3 of a second back here on Ignis. And as soon as I go to jump over there, the gap opens to 0.5. So losing 0.2 of a second in one corner there, you can see just how back and forth this battle is and how back and forth it's going to stay for the entirety of this race. Of course, you've got Tazo in P1 that is 2.3 seconds up on Pujosh. Pujosh has a 4.1 second gap there. And now all of the leaders are starting to come into the pits there. Pujosh is into the pits. John Meister staying out. Ignis into the pits. Buchik into the pits. Hard tires going on for all of these drivers. As they're all pitting, Cashty is coming down, Maverick's coming out. So they're all going to come out behind Maverick. Will they be in front of Gamer, though? And it looks like Pujosh does come out in front of Gamer. Ignis coming out behind Gamer and Extrac along with Buchik. Buchik opting for medium tires there. Very, very interesting change of strategy. So pit stop starting to mix things up. Pujosh currently going to be your... Actually, no. Cashty would currently be your leader with Pujosh technically in P2 once pit stop cycles are finished. We'll continue to see drivers pit through the next few laps, I'm sure. That's a Ferrari off in Sector 3. That is the Ferrari of Graxon who was off, and now Graxon back underway there. Graxon's going to lose out of position to Matty, I believe. Or he's going to fight it through the final corner coming around. Graxon said, I know I spun, but I don't want to lose. Oh! Graxon almost takes Cashty out there. Going into the pits, it looked like Cashty was going to go in Graxon's inside, and Graxon didn't know he was there and almost wiped him out. Oh, that's going to be a conversation later, I'm sure. The stewards are going to look at that later, I would imagine. Thankfully, Cashty was able to avoid, and Cashty is still on track. Because that would have been very, very unfortunate if that had been how that went down. Oh. And now as we watch drivers coming through P5, you can of course see Pujosh with a 1.3 second gap, 1.4 second gap, continuing to build a gap there on Gamer. And now it looks like we have a spin there in the first sector. I believe that is going to be JJ that is spun. It is unfortunately JJ that is spun. JJ's back underway though, and it looks like a VSC, no, a full course safety car has been deployed. So the driver's not able to make it entirely through this race with no safety car, and it's during pit stops So this is going to mix things up big time because I think Tazo might have just gotten a free pit stop and might keep the lead here. Jawmeister coming through. Jawmeister might lose a couple positions. Cashy is going to pick up a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Maddie's into the pits. Maverick's into the pits. Puhash, of course, just pitting and staying out. Gamer's staying out, which is a very interesting decision considering Gamer hasn't pit yet, so I'm not sure why Gamer wouldn't pit with everyone else. So, we're now under safety car conditions, and I have no idea why we're under safety car conditions. So more drivers going to the pits there. Barthez and JJ into the pits. So, and then of course this does neutralize the race. Everybody is going to lap up behind the safety car, and then we will have probably 13 or 14 laps to go, I would say, when the safety car comes in. All right, pit stop the cycle. We're still waiting on the tail of the field to catch up. I don't think safety car is going to be in this lap. Okay, I lied. Safety car will be in this lap. It looks like tail of the field caught up just in time, which means Tazo is going to have control of the field here. And you can see he is bunching things up very, very tightly here. A big mix of cars for who's pit and who hasn't. And we'll see Tazo is the one that decides when the field goes. And Tazo, I think, is saying field go now. And we're back under green flag racing here. Lap 19 of 33. And you can see two side by side here. Puhash, Buchik, Ignis. Oh, and Puhash pushing Syntex wide there. That was very, very dangerous. And that is going to cost Syntex big time because now he's going to have to drop behind Wasserschwein. 3 wide battle there. Back in the back, Syntex, Kashti, and Maddie. And now we're going to get to see some teammates working together. You see everyone kind of jockeying around for position. Look at the pass in the background there. Everyone looking wide. Everyone holding on. That's, I believe, Extract on the outside of Debe. there for P10, and Extract is going to hold on to the position. 14 laps to go here in this race. You can see the front of the field already building up a pretty significant gap, and we've got some serious racing going on right here between Noda and JJ. I feel like I've seen Noda and JJ race before very hard here. Almost similar to this fashion, of course, JJ there on the outside, Noda on the inside, and Noda holding onto it there. Now JJ's having to hold on against Buchik, and I think he's going to be able to keep that position. He does indeed keep the position there. And now we're going to jump back up because Syntax has a run on Wasserschwein down the main straight. And look at that. Kashki is going to look on the outside there. His teammate looking around, and Syntax spinning on turn one, hitting the sausage curb. So Syntax now dropping all the way back to the back of the field. Going for the gap. And it was there. And just unfortunately hitting that yellow sausage curve on the inside. I keep looking back here in the back too, because JJ and Buchik are absolutely battling, and even though it's for P14, they're battling like it's for P1. It's great to watch here. And now you've got Buchik with a pass on Gamer there down the inside that's going to turn into outside for the next chicane. He doesn't make that pass stick, actually, so he's still holding on, looking. Oh, he's trying as hard as he can to make that pass happen and get things done. You can see in front of him there, Noda and Bimolino Gaucho are having a good battle as well. Yellow flag sector 3, I believe that is for JJ spinning. And that is indeed for the Williams of JJ spinning. Very unfortunate. JJ now in the back of the pack. And now surviving turn one for another lap there. Gamer tagged up behind Bimolino. He's got Noda to his inside there. Gamer's going to run very wide, and Gamer's going to actually lose out 2 positions here as Buchik gets past him as well. Gamer now down into P14. You can see Noda there looking up the inside of Bimolino Gaucho, able to go up the inside, hold on to that position. So Noda now up into P11. Meanwhile, all of this is happening, and up in the front of the field, you've got Puhash, who's just 0.2 of a second back on Kashti, trying to get a pass here for P4. So as we go through, Buchik and Bimolino Gaucho are just not giving up on one another. And then Gamers in the mix as well. I mean, they are trying as hard as they can to get through there. Look at that. Gamer on the inside trying to get his nose close enough for a pass, just not able to make it happen. And now this is going to be where we see big runs start here. Noda on Debe there. Is he close enough for the pass? He's not. He's only 0.2 back, though, so he's very, very close. JJ picking up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane and actually DNFing out of this race. So JJ, our first driver we lose here in split one with only 11 laps to go. Noda's up the inside here of the Williams. And he does get the pass done on Debe there. So Noda now up into P10, into the points paying places. Syntax and Barthez have been battling hard for a couple of laps now. Syntax finally able to get the pass done and get through there. Now he's got to battle and get around Bimolino Gaucho. John Meister is closing the gap to Tazo up front. We'll keep our eyes on that as that continues. Wasserschwein, Maddie, and Puhash all within 0.6 of a second of each other. So lots of great battles all through the field to keep our eyes on. As we go through, Kashti also closing up on Ignis for that P3. Bartha is running very wide there, picking up a 3-second time penalty. Syntax now up into P14, getting past Bimolino there. So Syntax picking up another position there into P14, checking in on Noda here. Noda with DRS open, half a second back on Extract. Is he going to be close enough to try for a dive or try for any moves here through turns 1, 2, 3. He's not close enough. And Extract actually blinking there really, really hard. So Extract now dropping back pretty. Extract having some serious connection issues, it looks like. And falling way back there. We'll have to keep our eyes on that as it goes. Ignis gets really loose there. That's going to open up the door for Kashti. Kashti, if he can take advantage of that little wiggle there through the next series of corners, may be able to get past Ignis here as he continues to run through. And is that rain? Why is it raining? 10 laps to go and it's raining? Well, this changes everything. All right, yeah, this changes everything. I didn't realize it was starting to rain. So we'll see when the drivers decide they want to pit through and go through. Kashti, of course, is going to have this pass on Ignis down into turn 1. Ignis harvesting there. Kashti diving outside. Is he through with the pass? He's well past him there. And so Kashti is going to pick up there on to P3. And now we just see when drivers decide they want to start pitting for intermediates. Looks like Gamer and Extract might be going for intermediate tires now. If so, that's a very bold decision to pit so early. They are pitting this early. I don't think we're going to lose the track that fast, though, from soft compound tires. But I could be wrong. We could lose the track faster than I think. Wasserschwein here in P6 is slowly chasing down Puhash there in P5. 8/10 of a second the gap here. Is he going to be able to catch up and get a pass done? All right, and DRS has been disabled. This is usually when you start seeing the transition time from dry to wet compound tires, but it looks like none of the drivers think it's the time to pit over yet. Bernard pitting in now for intermediates. Debe picking up a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So with DRS disabled, this seems to be the cue to most of the drivers that this is probably the time to pit, but you can still see the leaders are still out, so I don't know when they may decide to pit here, but Bernard, Debe, Gamer and Extract, Bimolino pitting in, Mavericks in the pits as well. So some drivers starting to transition over. I think some drivers are going to possibly wait at least one more lap. You're starting to see a little bit of wet spots on the track, though, and see where the rain is hitting. So this might be the time where the drivers need to think about that transition. And is anyone going to lose or gain places in their pit stops? And now all of the leaders into the pits. We're about to have a very, very busy pit lane for this lap. John Meister's in, Tazo's in, Kashti is in, Ignis is in, Puhash, Wasserschwein, Maddie, Node is in, Buchik's in, Syntex is into the pits, Graxon is into the pits. So a very, very busy pit lane happening here. And of course, some drivers serving out penalties as well while they're here. Buchik's in, Syntex in, Graxon in. Everyone else was already through the pits. Bernard, who pitted last lap, is just now coming through. Is Bernard going to pick up any positions, though? That is what I'm curious to see as he comes down. He might actually pick up a couple here. So Bernard is going to come out in front of the half of Buchik there. So Bernard up into P9. But for the most part, the field is unchanged. And now we can see just how wet the track truly is and watch the drivers here as they run through. You can see Kashti 0.2 of a second off of Puhash and Ignis. as we go through here. 5 laps to go now. And this is going to be our big battle here, the battle for P3. Because you can see Wasserschwein now getting in the mix of that battle for P3 as well. So it's all going to be what driver is going to be the most aggressive in pushing those wet tires. Of course, DRS disabled due to the wet weather, so now it's really all about pure pace and being able to take advantage of braking zones and any opportunity you may have to get a pass done here. And I think Cashy might be in a position to do just that. A great run out of the final corner here. You can see with the slipstream slowly gaining. Looks a little bit there around Cashy, not close enough for a pass. So Cashy's holding on. Cashy up the inside now. Is he going to get 2 positions at once? Cashy gets both positions at once there. And Cashy up into P3 now. But Ignis is going to fight it back there and force Cashy to the outside. Cashy's going to be on the outside, going on the run down into turn 5 into the downhill braking zone. Who is going to brake a little bit later? You can see Ignis a little bit later on the brakes. Now you've got Wasserschwein in the mix there. Cashy has to run very wide. Graxit DNFing there through turn 3. And who is going to hold on to this position here? And it looks like Cashy is able to get past Puhash, but can't get past Ignis. Graxit DNFing out of turn 3 there. Very, very unfortunate for the Ferrari driver. No safety cars deployed, which means we stay green the rest of this race. We continue to watch here. Cashy's trying to find an opportunity to get a run around here on Ignis, and I do think Cashy can find it and get the pass done. I think it's going to take a little bit of patience and just a little bit of guts as well. I mean, look, he has the run here, and he has the speed through turn 1. Is he going to be able to get the pass done there? Ignis positioning very well for defense, and as we go down, Cashy dives on the brakes there. Almost didn't miss the turn there. I don't think Ignis was expecting that, so now Cashy is going to have to just beat him through acceleration. He's through. Ignis is going to slot back in here. Ignis thinking about a peak there. Doesn't take it, but Wasserschwein does. Wasserschwein not close enough for a pass, though. You can see Noda and Maddie there for P7 and P8. You've got Noda and Maddie there. Noda loses the position there. Maddie is able to get up into P7. So this battle right here for P3 is huge. Tazo and Jahrmeister kind of running away here. Noda's still in this battle here with Maddie. Maddie just defending as hard as he can. And as they have to run the line there, you can see Wasserschwein dipping very far to the inside there. Don't know if that was on purpose to break slipstream or what that could have been, but I almost wonder if it's going to cost Wasserschwein the position here to go through. And you can see Wasserschwein a little bit loose there. And Maddie, in fact, gaining time there and getting very, very close. Now we're going to watch this battle here. Wasserschwein for P6, not close enough to make a move here. Maddie's not close enough to make a move here, but Noda is close enough for a move there. Noda around the inside. Maddie goes off track there to try to give space. So Noda back up into P7 now. Maddie picking up a time penalty. And as we continue to watch the drivers go through here, Wasserschwein on Puhash through around P5 now for Wasserschwein. Is Noda going to be able to get a pass done here on Puhash as well as they go through? And he thought about a dive there. You can see him just peek the nose out, try to take a look there. Maddie's going to try to take a look now on the McLaren driver. 3 laps to go. Is he going to be able to get a pass done here? And how far up the grid can he work? Ignis 1.7 seconds back on P4. Wasserschwein 1.8 seconds back for Ignis. And then, of course, this is the battle right now. The battle between Pujols, Noda, and Maddie. And Wasserschwein, this is the big battle here. You can see thinking about a dive up through turn 1. You can see Noda with a little bit there, just having to back off a bit. Pujols picks up a 3-second time penalty now, so that is going to be detrimental to where Pujols finishes in this race. You can see Noda there just sticking behind Pujols. Pujols getting a little bit loose there, and now Noda is just going to have the run down into the braking zone. Is Noda going to be able to get the pass done? Pujols breaks a little bit later. Noda's going to leave him plenty of racing room there. And Noda is able to get that pass done and get up into P6 here. And now Noda can set off the chase in P5. Maddie is chasing as well for P7. You've got Bernard and Buchek battling it out now for P9. Maddie, 0.2 of a second the gap, 1/10.5 the gap. He's very close. Oh, and I thought Pujols was going to lose it there. We've got a yellow flag sector 2. I believe that is going to be for Syntax spinning there in the middle sector. That's very unfortunate for Syntax. We come through, you can see there, it looks like Buchek was thinking about a dive there on Bernard there in the background, but did not go for it. Things are settling down here with 2 laps to go. The drivers are starting to push a lot harder, but I think some drivers are starting to accept that the race is what it is and they don't want to DNF out. It's better to finish than to DNF. Except for Buchek. Look at Buchek. He has a major run here on Bernard. 0.2 of a second the gap and still gaining. Bernard is going to go defensive there on the inside, come around. And Buchek does back out of it a bit. And Buchek is going to... yep, there it is, up the inside. It's going to come around a little loose on traction, though. Not able to keep into it. And now Buchek, a little bit better of a run out of turn 4 than Bernard had. Bernard got a little loose in the rear. And Buchek's going to go up the inside there. Buchek is able to get the pass done. And now Buchek up into P9. Second here, Maddie half a second back on Pujols and starting to lose position and lose time slightly to Pujols. And coming around, lap 32 of 33 now. 2 laps to go here in this race. And things, I think, have finally calmed down for the most part. A couple little battles to watch here to see how they finish out. Noda, Wasserschwein, Maddie, Pujols. Syntax trying to get past Debe here. Syntax getting past Debe. Debe actually spinning there on the main straight. Losing a lot of time, dropping down to P13. And for the most part for these drivers, it's just consistent driving to the end. Noda's going to try to have a little bit more of a run here and try to chase down Wasserschwein here to the end to try to get a top 5 finish. Which for Noda, a top 5 finish would be very, very important there because that would help Noda in his bid for staying on top of the Drivers' Championship, which of course Maddie in P2 is currently back in P8, and then Kashti would be up. So it's going to be a very, very close Drivers' Championship at the end of this race. Of course, only 12 races, but that means every race counts just a little bit more than the last for securing things through. You can see the gap still 0.5 of a second here. And now, as we start the final lap for these drivers, the rain at the end really neutralizing the race and kind of calming things down, getting drivers to not take any unnecessary risks. Maverick spinning there in 3rd sector, very unfortunate. Wasserschwein picking up a 3-second time penalty here. So as we come around the final lap, is Noda going to be able to get a run on Wasserschwein here to try to get past him and finish in P5? Of course, no DRS, so it's just all about pace. Is he going to be able to outbrake him? Is he going to be able to drive a little bit harder than he can and get past him here? And it doesn't seem to me that he is going to be able to. So as we come around here, Tazo is coming around the final sector. And for Tazo, it's been a very, very smooth sailing race. Just very relaxed. One safety car to deal with, but for Tazo, not a big deal. A great Sunday drive here, and Tazo is going to come around the final corner, and Tazo is going to finish us off here with the Portuguese Grand Prix in Split 1. Tazo comes across your winner. John Meister spins out of the final corner. Is John Meister going to be able to get it together before Kashi comes through? Kashi pushing really hard to the line. And Kashi is going to pass John Meister there at the line for P2. Oh, John Meister is going to be so upset with that. Ignis, Noda, Wasserschwein, Puhash. Oh my gosh. And now as we watch drivers finish and penalties start being applied, we'll watch as the standings fill themselves out. But Kashti. Oh, John Meister is going to be so mad with himself. And now as penalties apply through Tazo, Kashti, John Meister, Ignis, Noda, Wasserschwein, Puhash, Matty, Bernard, Buchik, Syntex, Bimolino, Gaucho, Extraek, Debe, Gamer 2021. And that is going to be it for this weekend for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Driver of the day goes to Wasserschwein. Very, very well deserved. Wasserschwein with a mega drive and some very, very strong defenses throughout. All right, looking at the finishers again, Tazo, Kashti by a 1/10 of a second. Coming across the head of John Meister. Ignis, Noda, Wasserschwein, Puhash, Matty, Bernard, Buchik, Syntex, Pimolino, Gacho, Extract, Debe, Gamer 2021, Maverick, Graxon, and Barthez, and JJ are 3 DNFs. What an awesome race. What an awesome weekend this has been. I love Portugal. This is such a great track. It's always fun to see drivers push. You always see just great battles through. Of course, we saw Split 2, Split 1. We saw, you know, side-by-side action all the way throughout. It's been a great race. Absolutely love it. And where are we at next weekend? That is a good question. You know, next weekend, we end up in Spain. Oh, that is going to be a fun race. Spain is going to be a good race. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back same time next week with Spain. Again, this is Bradley. I am your commentator. And I will see you next week. And it looks like Noda is going to be your winner of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Is your champion.
JJ splits the middle, gets past both drivers.